Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare dime coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. Today my friends, we are diving into one of the most fascinating little treasures in American coin history, the 1967 Roosevelt dime. Now before you think, oh it's just a dime, let me stop you right there, because this is not just a small 10-cent coin you pass and change. This is a coin that hides history, uniqueness, and in some cases, serious value for the right collector. I'm going to walk you through why this coin can stand out from millions of others and why coin hunters, collectors, and even casual treasure seekers should listen very closely today. You see, the year 1967 was an important one for U.S. coinage. America had just transitioned away from using silver in dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and the mint was producing coins in a copper-nickel clad composition. But during this year something very special happened. Several rare minting anomalies and unique strikes slipped through into circulation. These aren't the kind of differences the average eye catches, but to a trained coin collector, they can mean everything. When we talk about rarity in coins, it's not always about the number made. It's about how many survive in flawless condition and how many carry the special traits collectors dream about. The 1967 Roosevelt dime had no mint marks because of a temporary policy change to discourage hoarding, but certain examples were struck with an exceptional level of sharpness and detail, known to collectors as full torch on the reverse. This full torch detail is highly prized because it shows every line and band crisp and clear, something not often found on coins from that year. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. There are also rare errors from 1967 that collectors go crazy for. Imagine a dime struck slightly off-center, or one with a doubled image in the lettering or torch detail. These error coins are like hidden jackpots in your pocket change. They aren't just mistakes, they are unique one-of-a-kind collectibles that can sell for impressive amounts at coin shows, online auctions, or even local coin shops that recognize their worth. For collectors, my advice is this: when you find a 1967 Roosevelt dime, don't just glance at it and toss it aside. Hold it under good light, maybe even a magnifying glass, and look for sharp details on the torch, any unusual shifts in the strike, or any doubling in the inscriptions. Also pay attention to the coin's surface. The fewer scratches and marks, the more desirable it becomes. A dime that has sat safely in a collection for decades without losing its original luster is like gold to a serious collector. Demand for these coins, especially in pristine condition, is strong in the collector market today. You'd be amazed how a single well-preserved dime from 1967 can cause a bidding war between two determined coin hunters. I've seen examples change hands at major coin conventions where the room is buzzing with excitement the moment one of these rarities comes out of a display case. Now comes the part everyone waits for: the value. If you have a 1967 Roosevelt dime in absolutely flawless condition, especially with that perfect full torch detail or a dramatic mint error, it could sell for as much as $1,500 in the right market. Yes, that's $1,500 for a single 10-cent coin, a coin that in everyday life wouldn't even buy you a cup of coffee, but in the collector world could bring a small fortune in the right sale, whether in a specialized auction in New York, a coin shop in California, or an online bidding war. So the next time you come across a dime from 1967, stop and take a closer look. It could be more than just pocket change, it could be your ticket to an incredible piece of coin collecting history and a very happy day for your wallet. Coin number 2. We are diving deep into one of the most interesting small treasures in American coin history, the 1974 Roosevelt dime. Now don't be fooled by its tiny size or the fact that it's just 10 cents in face value, because this little coin can tell a big story. In the world of coin collecting, certain years and mint marks hold a magic that sets them apart from the rest, and 1974 is one of those that has captured the attention of serious collectors across the country. I want you to listen to every single detail today, because the uniqueness and rarity of this coin could surprise you. Whether you are a passionate collector or just someone who likes the thrill of hunting through pocket change, the 1974 Roosevelt dime is one you'll want to know inside and out. This dime was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the U.S. Mint was using a copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. Millions were produced, but here's the twist: not all 1974 dimes are created equal. Some carry incredible sharpness in their strike, some have rare minting errors, and some have survived in conditions so pristine that they look like they were minted yesterday. These are the coins that spark competition between collectors and can bring impressive prices when they hit the market. One of the standout features that makes certain 1974 D dimes so valuable is the presence of what collectors call full torch on the reverse. This means that every single band and line in the torch is perfectly visible with razor-sharp detail. It's a sign of an exceptional strike, and coins with this feature are always in high demand. Imagine finding one in your collection and realizing it's not just any dime but a top-grade example that collectors fight over. Then there are the error coins from this year, and let me tell you, these are where the real excitement is. Off-center strikes, doubled dies in the lettering, and even unusual planchet flaws have been discovered on 1974 D dimes. These mistakes from the mint create one-of-a-kind pieces that can't be duplicated, and collectors love them because they know they are holding something truly unique in the entire world. If you are a collector or even just starting your coin journey, my tip is this: always look at your dimes closely. Don't just flip them over quickly and move on. Study the details under good lighting, check the torch bands, examine the lettering for any doubling, and see if the strike looks unusual or slightly misaligned. Every single coin has a story, and the closer you look, the more you might discover. The market for high-quality 1974 D Roosevelt Dimes is strong and growing. I've seen examples sell at coin shows in places like Las Vegas and Chicago, where dealers and collectors were lining up to get a closer look. Online auctions are another place where these coins shine. A top-quality example can create a bidding war that ends with a final price far beyond what most people expect for a dime. And now for the part you've been waiting for: the value. A 1974 D Roosevelt dime in absolutely flawless uncirculated condition, especially with a full torch or a dramatic mint error, can sell for as much as $1,000 in the right market. Yes, that's $1,000 for a 10-cent coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now. So the next time you're sorting through coins, keep your eyes open for the 1974 D Roosevelt dime. It's not just another small piece of change, it could be your ticket to owning a rare piece of American history and making a collector's dream come true. Coin number 3. We are going to talk about a coin that many people overlook every single day, but coin lovers like you and me know better. The 1977 Roosevelt dime may seem like just a small piece of change, but in the world of collectors it carries history, detail, and in some cases, an incredible surprise value. This is the kind of coin that can be hiding right in your pocket without you realizing you might be holding a treasure. I want you to listen carefully to every word in this video, because the uniqueness of the 1977 Roosevelt dime is something that every coin hunter needs to understand. Whether you have been collecting coins for years or you just started your journey, this is one you do not want to pass over without taking a second look. The year 1977 was part of the era when US dimes were being made from copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. They were produced in huge numbers, but here's where the story gets interesting: only a small fraction of these coins have survived in top-notch, untouched condition. That's what makes the hunt so thrilling. The ones that are preserved in flawless uncirculated state can be a true gem for any collection. Collectors get especially excited when they find what is known as a full torch example on the reverse of this dime. That means the torch between the olive branch and oak branch has all its lines and bands perfectly sharp and complete. It's like a signature of quality from the mint, and when you see one in person, you know you're holding something special. But that's not all. There are also rare error coins from 1977 that make this dime even more interesting. I'm talking about off-center strikes where the design is slightly shifted, doubled die errors where letters or numbers look like they have a shadow, and even coins struck on the wrong type of planchet. Each of these errors creates a one-of-a-kind collectible that can't be duplicated, and that uniqueness is what collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Here's my tip for you: if you are looking for one of these beauties, don't just look at the date and move on. Examine the details closely. Check the sharpness of the torch bands, look for any doubling in the inscriptions, and inspect the coin for unusual coloring or thickness. A magnifying glass or a coin loop is your best friend here. Sometimes what looks like an ordinary dime at first glance turns out to be a highly sought-after rarity once you take a closer look. The demand for 1977 Roosevelt dimes in exceptional condition is strong in the market. At coin shows, I have seen collectors stop in their tracks when they spot a perfect one in a dealer's case. In auctions, especially online ones, these coins can spark bidding battles that go way beyond what most people expect for a dime. In big coin conventions from New York to Dallas, dealers love to display them because they attract both seasoned collectors and newcomers with their beauty and rarity. And now for the part that gets everyone's heart racing: the value. A flawless, uncirculated 1977 Roosevelt dime with full torch details or a dramatic mint error can sell for as much as $1,200 in the right setting. Yes, that's $1,200 for a coin you might find in loose change or sitting in an old jar at home. Imagine pulling one out and realizing it could bring you that kind of money at a coin show, in a collector's market, or at an auction. So next time you have a handful of dimes, take a moment to check for that 1977 date and give it the attention it deserves. You never know when you might stumble upon a rare beauty that could turn a simple piece of pocket change into a prize worth talking about for years. Coin number 4. We are going to talk about a coin that might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The 1980p Roosevelt dime is a small coin with a big story, and for coin collectors it's a piece worth more attention than most people give it. I want you to listen closely because in the next few minutes I will share exactly why this dime can be rare, what makes certain ones stand out from the rest, and why finding one in the right condition could put a smile on your face that lasts all week. Now, 1980 was an interesting year for the United States Mint. These dimes were made at the Philadelphia Mint and carried a P Mint mark, which was still a relatively new addition for Philadelphia coins at the time. Millions of them were produced, but here's the thing, most of them went straight into circulation, bouncing from pocket to cash register to bank bag, picking up scratches and losing that brilliant mint luster that collectors crave. The few that survived untouched are the ones that make the collecting world buzz with excitement. One of the key features collectors look for in this dime is what they call full torch detail. On the back of the coin, you have the torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. If all the lines in the torch and all the horizontal bands are sharp and complete, you have something special in your hands. Coins with full torch detail are like a stamp of quality from the mint and are always in high demand among serious Roosevelt dime enthusiasts, but there's more to the 1980p story than just sharp details. Some coins from this year have rare minting errors that can send their value soaring. Imagine finding one struck slightly off-center so part of the design is missing, or spotting a double die where the date or lettering has a shadow-like doubling effect. There are even cases where a dime was struck on the wrong type of blank planchet, making it a one-of-a-kind piece that any collector would love to own. These errors are not flaws in the eyes of collectors, they are treasures because they cannot be replicated. If you are hunting for this dime, here's my advice: never just glance at the date and toss it aside. Study the coin carefully under good light. Check for strong details in the torch, look for any unusual thickness in the letters, and inspect the edges for any signs of striking errors. Even the tiniest difference from a normal strike could mean you are holding a piece worth far more than 10 cents. Patience and a careful eye are your best tools as a collector. The 1980p Roosevelt dime in top condition is not just another coin in the market. In coin shows from Florida to California, I've seen collectors lean over glass cases and point excitedly when they spot a flawless example. In online auctions, these coins can attract multiple bidders who refuse to back down until the very last second. Dealers love them because when a pristine or error example comes along, it draws attention like a spotlight at a theater opening, and now the part you have been waiting for, the value. A perfect, uncirculated 1980p Roosevelt dime with full torch detail or a dramatic mint error can sell for as much as $1,000 in the right market. That's $1,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't even notice in their change, a coin that could be sitting quietly in a jar or box in your home right now just waiting to be discovered. So the next time you sort through your coins, give those dimes a second look. The 1980p Roosevelt dime is proof that treasures can still be found in the smallest places, and sometimes the smallest coin can bring the biggest reward. Coin number 5. We are talking about a small coin that could make a big difference in your collection and maybe even in your wallet. The 1990p Roosevelt dime might look like an ordinary piece of change, but when you know what to look for, it becomes one of the most exciting little treasures you can find in US coinage. So if you love coins, or even if you're just curious about what makes some of them so special, then stick with me until the end because you do not want to miss this one. The year 1990 was a very interesting one for US coins. The Roosevelt dime was still being made from copper nickel clad, and millions rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint carrying that little P Mint mark. But here's where the thrill starts: not all of them came out the same. While most went straight into cash registers and change purses, a small number were struck with exceptional sharpness and detail, and even fewer ended up with fascinating mint errors that make collectors' hearts race. One of the most desired traits on a 1990p dime is what we call full torch detail on the reverse. If you take a close look at the torch between the branches, you'll see horizontal bands and vertical lines. When every line is crisp and every band is complete, that's when you know you're looking at a premium strike. Collectors chase these full torch examples because they represent the best quality the mint produced, and they're not easy to find in high grade, but the real magic for some 1990p dimes comes from rare mint errors. There are known examples with dramatic doubling in the lettering or the date, coins struck slightly off-center so the design looks shifted, and even cases where a dime was struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. These errors don't happen often, and when they do, they create one-of-a-kind collectibles that can't be duplicated. If you find one of these, you are holding something truly unique in the entire coin collecting world. If you're a collector, my advice is this: always take your time when looking through dimes from this year. Don't just glance at the date and move on. Use a magnifying glass and really study the details. Check for full torch sharpness, look for doubling in the letters, and make sure to inspect the rim and edges for any striking oddities. Many of the best finds in coin collecting come from people who were patient enough to look closely when others didn't. The demand for a perfect 1990p Roosevelt dime is strong and getting stronger. I have seen collectors at major coin shows in places like Orlando and Philadelphia stop in their tracks when they see a flawless uncirculated example in a dealer's case. In online auctions, these coins can spark bidding wars with buyers refusing to give up until the last second. And when a rare error version appears on the market, it can make headlines in the collecting community. And now for the moment you've been waiting for: the value. A flawless uncirculated 1990p Roosevelt dime with full torch detail or a dramatic mint error can sell for as much as $800 in the right market. That's $800 for a coin that most people would spend without a second thought, but in the hands of the right collector it becomes a prize worth showing off. So the next time you go through your spare change, remember this: the 1990p Roosevelt dime could be hiding right in front of you, and it's up to you to spot it. That little coin could be the highlight of your collection, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest treasures carry the biggest rewards.